Hey, how you doing today? I am Tahila Coleman. In today's video, I'm going to answer one of our God ordained spouse questions she sent in. She said, "Hi, I've been listening to you since early summer. I was led to your channel almost immediately after my man and I split up. We both are aware and have acknowledged we are soulmates and meant to be. He has a lot of childhood traumas, abandonment issues, some he's aware of, and some he's not. I never wanted to overstep with the topic, but I could not be his mom as well as his person. I grew up in a loving family, and he sometimes made me feel bad for having a great support system. He was married before. He has a son. I also have a son, and they're great friends. Maybe it'll be better if we could speak briefly by phone so I can make sense of what I'm saying. Okay, great. If you want to speak to me over the phone, just book a session over at godordainedmarriages.com. He sold his house, moved with me, bought a ring, etc. I live about 1.5 hours away from his son, and he felt that was an issue. I agree, and we would get his son as often as we could. Now, she got in parentheses. Sometimes I would even tell him it was time for us to get him. He was unhealed, and I often think we rushed, but God had revealed to us both we were meant to be. He had a big fight, not physical, just arguing. So he moved back closer and is sleeping on his ex-wife couch for now until he can find an apartment. We do communicate often. He's in counseling, but because I am stressed and my anxiety is literally giving me the shakes, I asked him not to communicate with me. He still does, but I always make it short. We are currently almost 2 weeks of no communication. That was a big decision for me, and I wonder if it's the correct decision. He's working hard on himself to be better for us. I know it would normally be a red flag considering where he went during our separation, but I know it's because of his own abandonment issues that he feels it's the best decision for his son to know he's not neglected. I must add that his relationship with his ex is strictly co-parenting. My job is allowing for me to move closer to him, and I haven't told him yet because I want us coming back together to be natural. I know that was a lot, and I actually have a lot more to say. What do you make of all of this? I've been hesitant to reach out to you, but lately I felt the need to do so before I sabotage my future marriage. Thanks for all you've done in my life these past months. Unknowingly, you are truly a gift to us all. I appreciate you very much. So thank you for sending in your question. I appreciate you as well. So I'm gonna give you some honesty. I really am, and I'm gonna just, I'm gonna give you some honesty. So here's the thing, okay? So I understand this man, your soulmate. He's dealing with childhood trauma, abandonment issue, a divorce, etc., etc. Right? You also stated in the email how he made you feel bad for having a good support system, right? So that's a red flag. He made you feel bad for having a good support system, and then he sold his house, moved with you, and bought a ring, etc. Right? So even though for him, okay, because he was saying living 1.5 hours away from his son was an issue for him, and you agreed. My question to you is, why did you agree to an hour and a half being an issue for him seeing his son? Because that's not the issue. It's never an issue with seeing your child as long as you have a vehicle, okay? So as long as this man have a vehicle, I don't care if y'all live 2 hours away. All he gotta do is get in his vehicle and go drive to see his child. Okay, So I don't think that was the issue. Okay, and then you told me you said it in here. Um, you said it was times where you had to tell him it's time to go get your son, right? And so now you got to remind him of his responsibilities, right? And when at first it was an issue, okay? And so he moves out. I'm trying to find it. He moves out of your place and moves with the ex-wife. Now he got you thinking it's just strictly co-parenting between him and her. The devil is a lie. Okay. He just told you on that. I'm not. That's where he wanted to be. That's where his heart is still at. Okay. I know you don't want to hear this right now, but I'm just being honest with you. Okay. He still has a soul tie with this woman. This is why it was an issue when he brought up in, to you, y'all living an hour and a half away. That's an issue for him. That's because he's still trying to track and see what this ex-wife is doing, okay, and who she's bringing up in that house, okay. And so yes, it's a red flag for him to go to her house and move in there. Let me find. Hold up. Let me see something. So you said y'all had a big fight, not physical, just arguing. He moved back closer and is sleeping on his ex-wife couch for now. That's what he told you. Until he can find an apartment. What happened to the money when he sold his house? Where that money at? Is he working? If so, why can't he go and get his own apartment or his own place versus going and sleeping on the ex-wife's couch? Because that's a red flag, okay? You can believe what this man telling you that he just sleeping on the couch. It just strictly co-parent. You can believe that if you want to, okay? What I don't believe that, okay? I really don't. And I'm being respectful. I'm saying this in all love and with respect, okay? But no. So let me stop beating around the bush. So here's the thing. This is what you're dealing with. Don't get him no excuse or no pass because of his childhood trauma and abandonment issues, okay? Yes, we know he need to go through a healing process. However, he also needs to grow up because he doesn't want any responsibility. It's showing in his action. It's showing in his fruit, okay? His action is producing the fruit of irresponsibility. I don't want any responsibility. This is why he sold his house and moved in with you. There's a cycle. There's a pattern of him moving in with women so that they can take care of him. Okay. So that's a red flag. And then number two, he's up here making you feel bad for having a good support system. Is he abusive? Because sometimes when you have a great support system and the person is trying to having you to feel bad that you got a great support system and good loving family, that's probably because they're trying to get you to sabotage your own connection with your family and pull you away from them so that now they can control you and manipulate you. So only you know what you're dealing with, okay? But that is a red flag as well. Him trying to make you feel bad for having a good support system and his toxicity, okay? And then three, he to move back with his ex-wife, okay? And he say he's on the couch. I don't care if he is on the couch. It was a red flag as soon as he went to her. If she's the first person he called to go back for help, that tells you a lot right there. So he has some unfinished business with this woman and he want to dangle the son in your face and make you think it's all about the son. Oh, I want to be close to my son. I don't want my son to feel neglected. However, you have to remind him to, basically, to spend time with his son. He don't want any responsibility. So no, you didn't do. I think you asked me, like, was that the right move for you to cut the communication? Yes, he need to grow up. It's time for him to mature into the husband you want him to be for you. Okay. Now you use the word soulmate. My language is God ordained spouse. Okay. So I'm not going to go back and forth on, you know, if this is your God ordained spouse because um I think it's two different things. God ordained spouse and soulmate. Okay. I really do. God ordained spouse. This is the spouse God has ordained for me to do the rest of my life with. Okay. A soulmate could be, someone I met, previously, and we connected on that level or whatever. We got a deep connection. I see it differently. Than a God ordained spouse. Okay, if you get what I'm saying, because God ordained spouses, we are coming together to fulfill God's specific purpose. Okay, versus a soulmate connection. Okay, so I just wanted to say that. But I'm not going to go back and forth on if this is your God ordained spouse or not. That's for you to figure out, you to decide. That's for you to hear from God regarding this particular individual. He need accountability. I would stay in no contact, no communication with him because he needs time to work out that unfinished business with this ex-wife. Okay. Um, and yes, he needs also to heal these childhood trauma, abandonment issues, etc., etc. He got toxic ways, etc. I live on the foundation. If a man, in order for a man to be ready for a wife, he has to show me in his singleness that he's already a responsible single man. And I can see that when he have his own place, he has his own vehicle, he has a job, or maybe he got his own business. If he got responsibilities such as children, he's taking care of his children. He don't need reminders. He just going, and being in his child's life, right? If he's in his purpose, he's working that purpose. I can see the responsibilities being handled in his purpose, right? So whenever these things are missing from, you know, these guys' life, it's red flags, and they're not ready to be husbands at this moment because they haven't mastered like level one, right? He got to master the first step, which is can you hold down your own place? You know, can you be faithful in your singleness versus going running back to exes in the past? Can you take care of your children? We have to master our singleness before we can move and elevate to that next level into marriage. And so that's I say all that to say I would stop the communication with him because you don't want to put yourself in a position where you are now the rebound. Okay. And he is with you because he's trying to work out his emotions and feelings he still has for this ex-wife. Now he's working it out with you, and it's getting your hopes up. You think y'all moving to something bigger and building things when he's still not over that. So I would give him all the room he need to get over that ex-wife. If you feel led to pray for him, go ahead and pray. But he need accountability. Okay, that's going to help him grow into a better man. All right. So that is my advice. Yeah, that is my advice. Make sure you all like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave me a positive comment. I'll talk to you all real soon. Take care.